effort to develop and bring social amenities, at the same time, groups in either our localities, community, or even in the metropolis, it comes with some negativity. Well, these are all human activities at times that if it is not well checked and well corrected and well controlled, it may cause mayhem, especially to our younger generation that are coming up. Some of those vices are caused by elderly ones or mature minds in the doing to grade our local areas. I was opportune to be in a particular workshop organized by RAM. We were told that in most cases, if there is road construction that has been allocated to either any company or any contractor to produce or create a 1 kilometer road for a particular local government or a particular village or another village, the byproduct or the end product of those engineers or those people working that were asked to go and work there, what they usually left behind is catastrophe sometimes. These and many more we shall be discussing on the subject matter, gender-based violence. I don't know how you are going to look at it, but take it or leave it. There are so many cases that are still going on, even in the court, at the same time, police station, and where have you about this issue, gender-based violence. It's a very broad topic that we will not have time to discuss the in-depth that we will be dining and whining within the knowledge or the concept that we intend to educate and inform our viewers. You're on the Gombe State Media Corporation, GMC-TV. My name is Ibrahim Tal. The program you are watching is Good Morning Nigeria and Good Morning Gombe. I have a reverend, a one-time chairman of Kan Gombe State. Is retired but not tired. Reverend Dr. Jim Amos is one of the board member, Akrisal, Gombe State. Doctor, you're welcome to this program.
Thank you and welcome.
Doctor will highlight more on Akrisal agroclimate, resilience, semi-arid landscape. Now you see what I said. These are group of people, a group of an organization in Gombe State that is saddled with different responsibilities. And before they go into our locality, our villages, our towns, sometimes they come with some development that will upgrade our local people or those in the rural areas. But those that they will send to go and actualize or activate some of those jobs, only God can tell. I have two powerful public analysts in the studio. You know, one is our usual pal. I call him Mr. Danu. Daniel, welcome to the program. Good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning, Gombe. Thanks for having me. And
I'm opportune here to catch another big fish. This big fish, I will not leave him go. We continue coming to the studio. So big fish, as a public analyst, you rest assured that if I don't have a guest, you will come and talk on behalf of the public.
Thank you.
Aliu Bakoyerima, it's another principal partner that we should be discussing gender-based violence on the topic Good Morning Nigeria. Aliu, you're welcome to the program. Good. Without mixing of words and wasting of time, Reverend Dr. Jim, can you please lay the cat rolling so that we know and get to know where we will start asking our question, because the conduct of this discussion lies on what you are going to say in this moment.
Thank you so much for having me this wonderful morning. I would want to begin by appreciating the Gombe State Media Corporation for seeing it fit for us to discuss gender-based violence that is happening not only in Nigeria, not only in Gombe states, but across the world. Gender-based violence is a menace that affects or cut across even those who are religious, those who are educated, those who are illiterate. This has been a problem, and sometimes people want to connect it to religion, and sometimes people want to connect it to tradition or culture, or the game of the jungle. The most powerful should have it all. But obviously, I want to draw the attention of the public this morning that gender-based violence, it is not good coming from either side, and it should not be encouraged. It should be discouraged. And even some people take it, even among married people. Sometimes, especially the men, because men are more masculine, want to use that as an excuse or use it to cause violence, which is not good. And it also goes down to, just as you have said, people who are constructing roads, that is people who work, that is use their energy to work, maybe because the energy is active, they sometimes miss their brain. But we want to encourage everybody that under God, prayerfully and with responsibility, whether you are doing a menial job, whether you are a constructor, whatever business you find yourself, whatever religion you find yourself, gender-based violence is not good. Just of recent, the ACRICEL, Gombe State, called us for a workshop in Bauchi to educate us on the need for the community to shun gender-based violence. And it went down to encourages people to be careful, especially, you know, when there is construction and these younger ones goes to hawking, and sometimes the workers do take advantage of the younger ones, especially in the evening times or when there were no people observing. I even had a case where I think it was in Bauchi or so, that around 12 in the noon, a boy was taken to hospital because he was raped. And this was some of the things that is happening around. Or you see a girl underage, age 10 to 16, especially the database of 2021 to 2025, particularly of Gombe State. We have over 600 cases of sex violence that is happening here in Gombe State, which I think is a number that we need to talk about it. We need to discourage it so that it will come down. It is on this basis that ACRICEL felt there is need to do a campaign to bring awareness to the community leaders, rural leaders, families, and the church and mosque organizations across Gombe State to see this thing as a serious issue and to talk about it in churches, in mosques, even when people sit down. And even when people are discussing, we should know that the case of gender-based violence in Gombe State is going high. 600 plus is not a small number. And it might be your sister, it might be your child, it might be your brother, it might be even you as a small child. It should not be encouraged, it should be discouraged, and it should be talked about, so that when people hear that the community are alert, it will create a sense of security or consciousness to be aware of some of these things, and also to tell the parents, don't be sending your children, especially vulnerable children, within the age of 10 to 16. I think this is where ACRICEL is trying to encourage, is trying to tell people to discourage some of some of these things, because they are doing a lot of projects in Gombe, and it will not be good if you go to, if you maybe when the cases come of gender-based violence, and maybe during interview the person will say, I was violated at the Agricel's project site. I think the name will not be interesting. So these are some of the things that I would love that we discourage. Thank you.
Analyst Ali, you have heard what Reverend Dr. Jim said. Do you have a rider or more input to what you have said that needs to be known by the general public?
Yes, actually, I'm very much happy to be here, and I need to express my sincere gratitude to GMC. And good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Gombe. Actually, the issue of gender-based violence cannot be overemphasized. It's a very broad issue, but there are issues that we need to look at into it. When we analyze the issue of gender-based violence, it's quite and analyze it critically in all its own dimension. There is need to maintain balance. There is an issue of gender-based violence in the angle of culture. There is the issue of gender-based violence in the angle of religion, and there is issue of gender-based violence in the world at large. But it depends on the way how you look at it. I'm just happy the way Reverend just collaborates the issue of gender-based violence with agro-climatic resilience in semi-arid land. Actually, if you go to the place where the construction is taking place, you will see just these little children that are there hawking, but most of the people do not look at it. What is happening? Is there any problem around that area or not? Is there something happening or not? Before I continue, there is issue that is confusing between the sex and gender. Sex is all about male or female, while gender is the role and the responsibilities of these male and female. So we need to differentiate these two. And culturally, so many things are happening, even from our immediate environment. But the most serious part of it, to my greatest dismay, most of the family, they will now tell you, even if it happens, let's take example of rapes. If it happens in the immediate family, they will now try to make it don't report. This don't report is a serious issue, because if you do not report it and it's happening, how the security agencies will know how that particular person that committed an offense will be punished. That means the person that committed an offense will allow to go unpunished, then tomorrow he is going to do the same. So these are the issues that we need to ameliorate the situation. If we look at this issue, if any person committed an offense or rape, for example, it should be reported to the appropriate agency, so that when he is punished, tomorrow he is not going to do the same thing, and others that are willing to do will definitely learn a lesson. So these are some of the primary issues that we need to solve from our immediate families before it now go into the larger society.
Mr. Ali, we will come back to you so that you differentiate the gender-based violence in terms of religion, particularly religion, and even the culture itself. But as of the world at large, I think it encompasses almost every body, because it's a social menace that is degrading not even the urban centers, but all inclusive the local and our countryside. Mr. Dan, now at your own end, you have heard from the two horses that are in the studio with us now on this subject matter, gender-based violence. As a public analyst, what are your own dismay to this angle?
Yes, before we go further, I go to let's me look at it, or let's educate our audience out there the legal aspect of it first. Section 42 of the 1999 Constitution.
I hope our lawyers are listening.
Yes, Section 42 of the 1999 Constitution guarantees the right of freedom, right of discrimination to every individual in terms of religion, where the person comes from, his ethnicity, his sex, or anything about that person. that particular situation of constitution guarantees that that person should be discriminated against based on those things listed, excluding the religion Ali just analyzed about. So, because if you don't let the people know this, most times people will don't know all what is entails in the gender-based violence. And then let me come back to the particular one, the targeted point Reverend was just talking about. I think in line to that ACRISAL, what is happening around the ACRISAL project sites, the one Reverend just talked about, I think that is the type we call, I think, displacement-based gender violence.
Displacement.
That's also one of displacement. Because when we look at the causes of what various causes of gender-based violence, we have a breakdown in services, we have conflicts, we have displacement, we have stress-based and poverty. That one we just talk about precisely in terms of that of ACRISAL project sites because of displacements. Why is it a displacement-based gender-based violence? It's a displacement-based gender violence because those kids, those young female kids that goes to such sites to hawk, they are being taken advantage of because they are displaced from their immediate community. Because a project is going on that site, and they come and hawk granite or pure water for their parents as a source of their livelihood. They've been displaced from the eyes of their parents, and then the workers on site there are taking advantage of them. And what causes that displacement? It's because of maybe poverty. They have to help their parent to get those earnings and survive, and that is why those workers on site are taking advantage of them. So that is right.
Reverend, now, Mr. Dan has talked about poverty. He sincerely tried to define some of the cause. He said to make ends meet in the family. Now, there is no check and balances when those kids are back from this hawking, that is from their parents. All they try to find out is a gain out of the proceeds they went to sell. They never care to find out what they usually do apart from the selling of those items to those workers that are working on site. Now, if I may be correct, the Director General of RAM said it is a law. It is a law with rural agricultural personnel that are working under RAM. If any person is caught to these negative acts during work or during construction, that person should be fired at the same time, hand over to the police. Now, if it is a law, do all companies, all project workers aware and adhere to these rules? Are they informed? Because if RAM will now come and say, okay, this is what we want, we are hiring you now to come and do a 1 kilometer road, a 2 kilometer road. In a village, in a remote village, sometimes you go to remote areas in the motive, which is very, very good, which is a welcome development. But like I said, the danger, just like Danny said, how now will you synergize this issue with ACRISAL? Do they come in now to make it a law? Will there be avenue? Can they meet the security, the law enforcement agencies at the same time? The government that has the powers to enact law, so that if anybody is catched or pinned on this issue, will be dealt with squarely.
Thank you so much. This is a very interesting question. Let me say that what ACRISAL is doing, particularly in the project and also in her manpower, is to be able to create this awareness that gender-based violence has no place in ACRISAL. And in the training or workshop we received, ACRISAL, under the leadership of Dr. Sani Joro, who I see him is a man of vision, he also invited some commissioners, particularly Commissioner of Women Affairs, in case if there is any issue of sex gender-based violence, so that they will collaborate and see how the issue will be tackled. And that day the Commissioner of Women Affairs also rightly give us an input that there are security agents that they are already connected to. When these issues happen, I think there are called numbers for security personnel. When this issue happen, you will just dial it. And in every community you see Acrisel project, there are community leaders put by Acrisel in every community, from one scale to the other, to the Meanguas, the Dakachi and the Hakimis. And as I have told you, I happens to be a board member in Acrisel under the leadership of Yeriman Gombe, who is our chairman. So, and what they are doing is to bring all the leaders, religious leaders, community leaders, traditional leaders, to be leaders, so that they can be able to relate to the security personnel, to the what do we call it, this local security that is within the Angwa, Mbanga and the rest. So Acrisel have put in place contacts personnels, so that they can easily relate to the security. And I remember that day also Ministry of Health was also there, Ministry of Agri was there, Ministry of Water Resources was there, Ministry of Justice was there, Ministry of Agriculture, yes, was there also. That these are ministries Acrisel is correlating to see how they can come together and tackle this issue of gender-based violence. And I want to tell you, the project received 100% support of our dear governor, 100 support, and that is why all the commissioners were there, the permanent secretaries were there, the directors were there, to see that how are we going to tackle these issues. If there were issues like that, in fact, lawyers were there also, and they were able to educate us that when issues like this happens and is reported to the security, they come in to see how they can also render legal coverage. So Acrisel is doing a lot to see that these things are there. And in the area of poverty, Acrisel is also there. They were able to provide loans. In Gombe local government, about 30 groups, 30 million was given to them, courtesy of World Bank, that is Acrisel, and the governor, which we actually need to applaud to the governor for doing his best to see that he comb the poverty rate, because it's one of the things that is bringing this issue of gender-based violence. Just as you rightly said, when children are displaced from their parents because of poverty. And so families, especially the mothers, they were given some soft loans, which is not like bank loan where you collect it and there is interest in it, or that no, it's a recycled money within the community. So it's not let me use the word, it's not bashy so much that you collect it and then you take it back, and that no, it's a recycled money within the community. It's given to Mr. A. When Mr. A finish within some months, 6 months, you bring it back, Mr. B will collect it, and then it goes rather within the community. And it's happening in our local government to comb this issue of poverty that is making parents to send their children to do hawking. And so it's a holistic approach to gender-based violence. And you know, one of the things is happening, even when the money is given, the husbands at home let me use the word gender-based violence on their wives, that I'm the husband, they will collect the money. They will refuse the wife from using it to do business and have interest to support the family, which Acrisel is discouraging. That is another way of gender-based violence. Yeah, you come and, yes, say I'm the man. The masculinity. Yeah, the masculinity, which is another thing Acrisel is saying is not correct. It's not correct. We are giving this thing to your wife so that she can be able to help the family, so that your children will not go out and hack and then will be taken advantage of. So I think the men also have a part to play in this fight against gender-based violence. Thank you.
Viewers, you are still on the program. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Gombe. Our line will be placed on the screen for you to call. If you cannot call to be part of the program, you can send a text. I will read your text and see how we will do justice to some of the conversation and discussion we are doing in the studio for the benefit of our public and to correct some evil that is going in the society. Mr. Aliu, yes. You talked about culture, religion, and the world at large. That is where some of the balances need to be struck. Now, can we pick religion? If we are to pick religion based on what Reverend Dr. Jim said and Mr. Dan, that there are certain families that due to poverty, they send their wards to go and sell or hawk. And you earlier said some people will not even like if incident of such nature happen to the family, they will not like to report, they will remain mute in it. And Reverend Dr. Jim said they have their Reiki partners. I guess the call is coming. Let's see if we can hear the caller. Hello, good morning. Good morning. We missed that call. Like I was saying, if a particular family has such calamity befall on them, decide not to report, and just like what Reverend noted, that if those personnel responsible to take action on this insist that they will, what will become of the family? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're on the Gombe Media Corporation GMC-TV. What is your name and where are you calling us from? Hello? We missed the call again. Now you get my question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
This is a very good question. And actually, from the side of religious perspective, I'm just very glad with the solutions and approach that the training ACRISAL give to most of our members. The religious leaders are part of the training that has taken place.
Okay.
And actually, there is what is called referral pathway.
Referral pathway.
Referral pathway. There are so many ways that you can follow to solve the problem. Since the religious leaders had been trained, and most of those families normally listen to those religious leaders. So the religious leaders are the one. Okay, you can pick the call.
No, the network is not there.
The religious leaders are the one that will meet those families, and definitely they trust the religious leaders. So whatsoever they tell them, they will definitely agree, and they will be fully convinced. So that is why the religious leaders are part of the program, are part of the training, for them to enlighten those kind of families that don't want to report such an issue.
Now, if those responsible with those issues take the matter straight to the police or to the law enforcement agency without the knowledge of the parents that that incident happened with, and the parents say no, they don't want anything like that, what will be of what ACRISAL is doing at the same time the move to correct this evil? Excuse me. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, you are calling from where? The network is not allowing us to communicate with you. Very sorry, please. I hope the network will be corrected as we continue. Yeah, you're talking, Mr.
Yes, that is why the Ministry of Women Affairs are fully involved on this issue.
Okay.
The permanent secretary and even the directors are fully part of it. In fact, they have a place now for them to counsel those people, the parents and the person that is directly involved.
Okay.
The Ministry of Women Affairs are part of the referral pathway. One must report to the police, where there is gender officer that is responsible for that.
Okay.
And one is also going to report to the hospital. That is where the cross-examination is going to take place. And also refer it to the Women Affairs, because the Ministry of Women Affairs, they have even a place to keep those kind of victims for counseling and other things, for them to maintain balance.
Okay.
So those families, they normally agree or convince when the religious leaders are involved. But in such case where the religious leaders are not there, are reported directly to the police, they are not above the law. The only thing is for them to agree or to be convinced.
All right.
So that to solve the problem once and for all.
Okay. Viewers, in case the network is not permitting us to get us directly, you can send a text with the other number so that we get what you intend putting across so that we discuss more. Mr. Dan, yes. Aliu try to make a submission where the religious leader and the women affairs knows their own methodology or systematical move so that families that are refusing government agency or those responsible to correct such evil through their own means in order to avert it. Now, the section of the community is divided into so many age groups, just like Reverend Jim enumerated that the vulnerables are from age 1 to 10.
10 to 16.
Then 10 to 16, then 16 to... Now, if we look at it holistically, it has its variation when it comes to this domestic violence of a thing. Then the group that suffer most, that are not well knowledgeable, is the vulnerables. So, but who are the major perpetrators when you look at those age brackets?
Thank you very much for that question. It's very interesting. In the course of any project, especially such a big one like this agriculture, there's what we call environmental impact assessment in any project situation. Fortunately, based on my discipline, I'm an agricultural extension officer and farm manager by training. And the basic backbone of my course is what we call rural sociology. If you're coming for any project in a particular environment or community, you are supposed to know detail the sociology of that environment. You're supposed to, like, you just clustered them now, you're saying vulnerable. First, you're supposed to know the sociology of that environment. And the sociology of that environment, in-depth sociology of that environment, will give you a clue on how to do the environmental impact of assessment of that project you come there to do. And with that, you should be able to solve some of these problems. On a lighter note, let me give you an example. I participated in the Fadama 3 program some years ago in Benue. And during the course, one of the resource persons was telling us one story. They were to establish a water project in one community. The community has this serious issue of water. Before their children go to school in the morning, they have to take very, very long distance to get water before they come and go to school. They came and tried to help that community establish a water project. And they said that anytime they do the project halfway, they find the project is destroyed. The community don't seem to appreciate that water. They were not interested, despite they were suffering for that. Do you know why? Because the community of this compressed nuclear kind of settlement, and whereby you have a family, a man, his wife, and 2 wives, having about 10, 15 to how many children, and they live in a very poor kind of job, room and parlor. So that morning, every morning when their children trek that long distance to fetch water, that is when the men get the time to meet with their wives.
Wow. Oh, in the morning.
Because it cannot be done in the night because of the poor settlement, the poor houses they are living in. Because the house is so populated, he cannot meet his wife, and he's interested in his children, going far distance to get water before he come, he'll have enjoyed himself, meet his wife, do his procreation and that. So you can discover that now the organization trying to get that community in line with potable drinking water. Still, the community was not interested because of the environmental impact assessment of that project. So first, when you come to a place, you do the environmental impact assessments, try to know the in-depth sociology of that environment before you go into that distance. Like the Akisa case doctor was talking about. If you know such a thing happen on the site, whereby you have your workers working, and you know the particular age group that hawk, bring pure water and food, come and hawk in that place. There's what we call QHF, Quality Health and Environmental Officer in any company organization. It's left for the quality officer to know, maybe for example, get a particular static place, like a mini market around that site the workers are working. And all workers coming to that environment should remain in that place, maybe under one tree and other things, so that you can have your eyes on them. Because you said the kids keep walking into the site, behind the crane, behind the container, so someone will take advantage of them.
That is the program. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Gombe. We'd like to have a break here. We'll come back in a jiffy. Dr. Reverend Jim is in the studio. Panelist Bakwali Collins in the studio. Likewise, my co-friend Mr. Dan. We have some minutes to wind this program. Like I said, for those that want to participate, if you try calling and the network did not allow you, just write a text with the other number and we'll get your text and we'll communicate back to you. Welcome back on the program. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Gombe. Gender-based violence is the topic, and we have Reverend Dr. John Amos here doing justice to some of our questions at the same time. Analyst Aliu Bako and Mr. Dan. Now, Reverend, for how long or what is the duration of ACRISAL coming to solve this problem? Does it have a duration, or it's a continual project that will continue until when the menace has started reducing, or just for a while?
Okay, thank you. Since the issue or the case of gender-based violence is a social issue, you cannot say this is the time or this is the duration, but we expect in the shortest possible time this issue should come down when there is awareness. And you know, ACRISAL cannot be able to do effectively if the community, families are not involved effectively. These things cannot you cannot be able to say this is the time frame. But for now, this is what ACRISAL is launching, knowing this is one of the problem that is happening in the community. Well, just as my brother Dan rightly talked about this story of a family who they have problem of water in the community, and World Bank came to solve the problem. Well, they actually know it's a problem, but they also need another emotional problem to be solved. So ACRISAL is coming in that manner, so much that why is gender-based violence increasing? It is because there is no awareness and mechanism for control. And now she came out with economic empowerment. She also came out with control of gully erosion, because you could see how erosion is destroying land and then buildings in Gombe. And so what ACRISAL is doing is, when she sees a problem, she tries to solve it in conjunction with the Gombe state government. And so I want to say that it is not only an ACRISAL problem, it's a community problem, it's a government problem, it's a family problem, it's an individual problem. But ACRISAL is coming to lend a hand, and she is asking that, okay, if I'm helping you, you also need to do something. Help us so that we will help you. Thank you.
Sorry, in addition to...
Okay, in addition, but let me give you my last question so that you do the addition at the same time answer the last question. Now, you try to define gender based on sex and based on female or female, if I'm not forgetting.
Yes.
Now, we in the society perpetrate this dastardly act more, because, well, there is no woman in there is no the woman folk is not in our studio. I beg our viewers, that is woman folk on this. I don't know. Yeah, because if you look at it holistically, sometimes in is it Lagos, one of these big some women come, you see a woman come on the street trying to flag a car down. Now, only God knows what will happen. Violence can come in if maybe her demand is not being paid to how she wants it. And if the guy take advantage of her, did not come to her demand, like we're talking about poverty. Now, who does this? Is it the gender of the woman or the gender of the man?
All right. Thank you so much for this question. Actually, if we want to do justice to gender-based violence, the men are more. But the issue is not only on the side of men, because I have seen instances where a woman raped a particular person. He has reported, and we have confirmed he has done that. But if we talk about the majority, since the majority carry the vote, yes, men are at the majority side.
So men, please stop it. Men
are the majority
side.
Stop
it. Men, you are listening to me. I'm a man. We are going to stop it, and we will. Especially those that don't want to adhere. If the security of people in charge catch you, you know the penalty.
Yes.
You said you want to make a
yes,
rider.
in addition to
you have just some
what,
minutes, some seconds to round off.
It's okay. In addition to what Bishop said, actually, AgriSal, in the case of timing, you know, the gender-based violence is attached to the project that they are doing. Land degradation, climate change, drought control, and what have you, is attached to the issue of gender-based violence. While they are doing their projects, and they are now trying to ameliorate the issue of gender-based violence.
So it is going to be a continual...
So the project is about from 2022 to 2028.
Beautiful.
So after 2028, if the project is renewed, they will continue.
That's a good
So
one.
that is my addition to it.
Beautiful. Dan, your last point.
Also in a rider to what the Reverend Sani just said, most of these World Bank projects, I know, depends on counterpart funding. Depends on how interested you are as the governor of that state to partner with them. They come in the more. And Gombe State is lucky to have one governor who is very, very good with his counterpart funding. And let me give it also to one Dr. Aliu, I think the special advisor to the governor on development partners.
Yes.
That guy is fantastic. And like you asked about duration, one thing about project, if you continue to do your counterpart funding well, follow your rules well, you continue getting their projects in your state.
So that is why I said I commend
Some seconds.
Yes.
You commend the governor.
Yes, I commend the governor because of the counterparts funding that he's doing. That's why I said that I cannot specifically give the time frame. If the counterparts funding continues, if the governor continues to do that, obviously it will continue to eternity, because it's a social program. You can't say it will end now, it will not end. But we desire that the governor should do more, as he's doing more. We are seeing, everybody is seeing what is happening, transformation in Gombe State at large. Because of some of these World Bank projects, it is a counterpart funding that attracts some of these things. And so we are also calling on the governor to continue to do more, just as he is doing in other areas. He is really doing well. And you could see this project, Gombe Go Green. It is still part of the AgriSal program, which new also is the governor that is
viewers, that is where we will drop the program Gender-Based Violence for today under the program Good Morning Nigeria and Good Morning Gombe. If I allow Dr. Reverend Jim to continue, I may charge him because he's going out of. He wants to sell his AgriSal Agro Club. I want to believe he has a very good motive, but we'll equally look for a time for such program to continue, so that we continue to inform and educate you on issues related to AgriSal. Reverend Jim,
yes,
thank you very much for your opportunity.
Thank you for having me.
Aliu Bako, I'm glad for being in the studio with us. Dan,
thanks for having me.
Now good day. Viewers, the program will terminate here, but we will come back after this break for just 15 minutes and talk about trending matters, because there is an issue that we like it or we don't, we must. My name is Ibrahim Tal.
My name is Kaider, citizen of Nigeria, daughter of Urkung and Tangali, indigen of Gombe State, Gombe dwell in the savannah. Decades later, from just a small state from a part of Bauchi to one of the fastest growing states in the northern part of Nigeria, which consists 11 local government and over 20 languages, a state where agriculture is a norm, with a peaceful coexistence, beautiful topography, where you feel tremendous peace, fast-growing economy, best and friendliest city for its business due to its excellent modern infrastructure, endowed with over 13 different minerals harnessed for various uses such as Komani oil, coal, limestone, name it. Gombe, garin Buba Yaro, garin Abban gidan Buba Yaro, gari mai tarin albarka. Gombawa ɗiban fari ba a kwanda mu ba, an tashi da mu. Gombawa akwai mu da karɓan baki hannu bibbiyu. Gombe garin 'yan mata da samarai akwai mu da neman namu. Ga ado da kwalisa, Gombe birnin ƙarshe, Gombe ba mu da kushe, Gombe ba mu da ƙyashi, ga asali ga tushe. Proud of Gombe, Gombe of go-getters, like His Excellency Muhammad Inwa Yahaya, Amina Muhammad of United Nations, Uthman Farouk of the First Military Governor defunct, Abubakar Habu Hashidu, Senator Muhammad Danjum Magoji, Isa Ali Pantami of Brains, Senator Ibrahim Hassan Congo, Joshua M. Lidani, Ali Isa JC of Reps, Tony Yaro of Senate, Zainab Adam Bulkachua of Juris, Aisha Tu Jibirin Duku, Honorable Ali Moduku, Honorable Binta Bello, Bala Tinka of Tinka Point, Honorable Usman Bello Kumo, players like Samkon Gado, Haruna Garba, proud of Gombe immensity, from Jaruma to Helen Habina, Anas Adamu Muhammad to Usman Umar Zambo, Ali Nuhu to Yakubu Muhammad, Isa Gombe to Umar Gombe, Dan Musa to A-Class, Esmiga to Black D, Awal Pires to Sa Olak, Gombe Dupes to Jewel Magazine, Gombawa of What Snake Like Me, Usaina MD. God, we are doing so well. I am proud to hit my chest and lift my head high and say I am from Gombe. So here is to my Gombawa. I celebrate you now and always. My name is Kaider, citizen of Nigeria, daughter of Urkung and Tangali, indigen of Gombe State, Gombe Juwel Savannah. Decades later, from just a small state from a part of Bauchi to one of the fastest growing states in the northern part of Nigeria, which consists 11 local government and over 20 languages, a state where agriculture is a norm, with a peaceful coexistence, beautiful topography, where you feel tremendous peace, fast-growing economy, best and friendliest city for its business due to its excellent modern infrastructure, endowed with over 13 different minerals harnessed for various uses such as Komani oil, coal, limestone, name it. Gombe, garin Buba Yaro, garin Abban gidan Buba Yaro, gari mai tarin albarka. Gombawa ɗiban fari ba a kwanda mu ba, an tashi da mu. Gombawa akwai mu da karɓan baki hannu bibbiyu. Gombe garin 'yan mata da samarai akwai mu da neman namu. Ga ado da kwalisa, Gombe birnin ƙarshe, Gombe ba mu da kushe, Gombe ba mu da ƙyashi, ga asali ga tushe. Proud of Gombe, Gombe of go-getters, like His Excellency Muhammad Inwa Yahaya, Amina Muhammad of United Nations, Uthman Farouk of the First Military Governor defunct, Abubakar Habu Hashidu, Senator Muhammad Danjum Magoji, Isa Ali Pantami of Brains, Senator Ibrahim Hassan Congo, Joshua M. Lidani, Ali Isa JC of Reps, Tony Yaro of Senate, Zainab Adam Bulkachua of Juris, Aisha Tu Jibirin Duku, Honorable Ali Moduku, Honorable Binta Bello, Bala Tinka of Tinka Point, Honorable Usman Bello Kumo, players like Samkon Gado, Haruna Garba, proud of Gombe immensity, from Jaruma to Helen Habina, Anas Adamu Muhammad to Usman Umar Zambo, Ali Nuhu to Yakubu Muhammad, Isa Gombe to Umar Gombe, Dan Musa to A-Class, Esmiga to Black D, Awal Pires to Sa Olak, Gombe Dupes to Jewel Magazine, Gombawa of What Snake Like Me, Usaina MD. God, we are doing so well. I am proud to hit my chest and lift my head high and say I am from Gombe. So here is to my Gombawa. I celebrate you now and always. My name is Kaider, citizen of Nigeria, daughter of Urkung and Tangali, indigen of Gombe State, Gombe Jualanda Savannah. Decades later, from just a small state from a part of Bauchi to one of the fastest growing states in the northern part of Nigeria, which consists 11 local government and over 20 languages, a state where agriculture is a norm, with a peaceful coexistence, beautiful topography, where you feel tremendous peace, fast-growing economy, best and friendliest city for its business due to its excellent modern infrastructure, endowed with over 13 different minerals harnessed for various uses such as Komani oil, coal, limestone, name it. Gombe, garin Buba Yaro, garin Abban Gida.